We are about 5 weeks into hurricane season. We had Arthur a few weeks ago. The next name on the list is Bertha. No signs of that anytime soon. But Colorado State University, some of the lead hurricane forecasters in the world are based there, and they came out with an updated forecast yesterday. They are now saying 9 named storms for the season, 4 of those becoming hurricanes and 1 of those major hurricanes. So they've dropped their forecast with this latest update. What's even more interesting is that they're suggesting that only 35 days of the 6-month season will have a named storm. And if this goes on to verify, this will be one of our quietest seasons in terms of the number of named storms in at least 10 years. You can see where it relates to last year and where it relates to an average season. So we've been saying that the hurricane season will be near to a little bit below average, but now it may be that it ends up being well below average. And a lot of that has to do with El Nino, which we've talked about in recent weeks. It's that very warm water in the Pacific near the equator, and that tends to enhance the wind shear in the Atlantic and give cool to near normal water temperatures in parts of the Atlantic as well. So trends support even fewer tropical systems this year, well below average levels. A moderate El Nino is expected to intensify as we go through the next few months, but by the time the peak of hurricane season arrives around September, early October, an strong El Nino is likely to form. And again, that tends to increase the amount of vertical wind shear in the Atlantic Ocean, including the Caribbean, including the Gulf, which tends to cut down on the number of named storms. And because of that greater confidence, well, the forecasts from the Colorado State University, again, has brought the number of named storms down. Regardless, those in hurricane-prone areas still need to be prepared, because even a below-average season, it only takes one, right, to cause some impacts. But they also suggest that there's a well below average probability of major hurricane landfalls this year along the U.S. coastline in the Caribbean. If you recall, last year we did not have a landfalling hurricane in the United States. So it looks like odds are pretty good that that may happen again this year. But we know that we can still have some impacts in terms of rain, even if you get like a weaker tropical system. So it doesn't mean we let our guard down any less than usual. But those are the signs that we're seeing for the next 5 months or so. In the short term, we have a lot of dust trekking across the ocean coming from the Sahara Desert. It's a normal cyclical event that happens every year, and these plumes of Saharan dust are pretty high right now into early next week. Some of that makes it into the Caribbean, parts of Florida, maybe Texas over the upcoming days. But what this does, this further kind of reduces the amount of moisture that's needed for tropical systems and sometimes cools the water temperatures. Bottom line is no significant tropical development expected anytime soon, and the seasonal outlook looks pretty promising now too, for fewer storms compared to average.